Edmonton police choosing a familiar face as their new police chief, Chief Warren Driechel, saying he wants to build a new relationship with a potential new city council this fall.
We often hear about safety, crime stats, and the perception of safety, and I think we all want to get to the same place, and I'm committed to working towards that with them.
Edmonton's new police chief says he's looking forward to a new relationship with a new city council after October's civic election. Out of a nationwide search, the Edmonton Police Commission selecting Driechel, a member of Edmonton Police since 1997, to replace Dale McPhee, who resigned in February of this year after 6 years in the role. Chief Driechel telling media at City Hall Friday he wants to focus on accountability for police leadership, crime management, and customer service as he enters the job. One of his first acts as chief defending his decision as interim chief to send a letter to Alberta Crown prosecutors objecting to a plea deal for a woman charged in the death of an 8-year-old girl. Driechel calling it an unusual move and a last resort after he says communication between EPS and Crown prosecutors failed, something he hopes to fix.
They depend on us and we depend on them, right? And, we've already had initial conversations about sitting down, talking about fixing, repairing, whatever it is we need to repair. So, yeah, it's very important. I mean, you look at, the parts of the criminal justice system, the police have a very prominent role. We absolutely respect the Crown. Prosecutors, lawyers have a very important role. So we just have to be working in the same direction. So.
Driechel also involved in scandal a decade ago after it was discovered he was purchasing illegal steroids from another EPS officer.
I always knew that at some point it would become public. And when it did, I struggled with the idea that it defined me as a person, individual. But it did teach me a lot about mental health. It taught me a lot about resiliency. We know that investigation was a huge investigation. There were a lot of members involved. I never once shied away from the fact that I did it and accepted the punishment.
Driechel is the first internally hired police chief in 2 decades. Criminologist and former Edmonton police officer Dan Jones tells me this could be a major morale boost for Edmonton's nearly 2,000 police officers.
And looking at policing across the board right now, one of the biggest challenges for police officers and policing is mental health of police officers. And I think someone like Warren, who's had those struggles, might be a chief of police who comes in with that compassionate lens and goes, we need to focus on officer well-being. And I think that's a potential positive.
Driechel adding he wants to scale up online and virtual reporting and response from Edmonton Police, adding officers are seeing delayed response times due to construction and the city growing outward. Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.